We all know that sleep is a vital requirement for us. We also know the effects of going without sleep for a few days. But what would happen if someone went without sleep for a whole month? No, we are not talking about sleeping for 2 or 3 hours a day. We are talking about remaining awake for a month. It is interesting to imagine what would happen if someone were to really go without sleep for that long. It has obviously never happened, but there are several stories on internet that claim on the experiments that have been taken place in the past to find out the effects of long-term sleep deprivatives. The most famous among them is the Russian sleep experiment. Hi friends, welcome to Ani Talks. So today we are going to have a talk on the Russian sleep experiment. What would happen if someone were to go without sleep for nearly 30 days? That's what the researchers set to find out in 1940s Soviet. In this scientific experiment sanctioned by the military, a group of researchers took 5 political prisoners and locked them for 15 days in a sealed gas chamber. They were told that they would be set free if they could remain awake for 30 days. Inside the chamber, they were provided with food for eating, water for drinking, toilet, and even books for reading. But they were not given any luxury for sleep or even sit. The conversation of the 5 people were electronically monitored, while their behavior was monitored with the help of secret two-way mirror, as at that time there were no CCTV camera. An experimental gas with oxygen mixed in it was pumped inside it, which could make them awake. For the first few days, everything seemed normal. The people inside it continued to talk with each other as well as whisper to the researchers who kept monitoring them from outside the chamber through an electronically device which I mentioned before. But it was the 5th day that the things began to change. They stopped to talk to anyone and only whispered with themselves. From the 9th day, things became even worse. 2 of the inmates started to run around the chamber and started to scream so hard that their vocal cords would break. The screaming, however, stopped suddenly and there was silence inside it. The researchers slowly started increasing the amount of the experimental gas with oxygen mixed in it. The next day, one of the inmates covered the glass through which the researchers could monitor them with pages of the books, so that they could not see whatever was happening inside it. And then the room was full of silence. After a few days, as the room was full of silence, the researchers took the decision to open the chamber and stopped pumping the gas. But suddenly they heard a voice from inside that they no longer wanted to be free and they will stay inside itself. This was a very terrific fact as they were enjoying in the room. They even requested to pump the gas again and again. The researchers started thinking about the facts told by them. Unconsidering the request made by the inmates, the researchers opened the door. They saw the food was kept as it is and the floor was full of blood, and in that floor itself the inmates' torn out organs were lying so that they could be eaten after some time. Some inmates even started eating their own flesh. This was a very terrible and horrific scene. One of the inmates ate his own abdomen flesh such that his bones were visible. When they were taken to hospital, the inmates requested for taking them to the room again and again. In the hospital, there was another surprise waiting for the researchers. We all know that a morphine injection could make someone unconscious. But here, 8 morphine injections were injected, but they were still active and awakened. They requested the doctors to do their operation in front of them when they were awakened and conscious because they enjoyed the pain during the operation. As the operation continued, the inmates were laughing. But during the operation, 3 of them died in the hospital itself. But the research never stopped. The commanding officer of the Soviet army ordered for continuing the research and ordered to let 3 researchers to go inside the chamber with the left 2 inmates. The next day, as the rest 2 of them were tied to the bed for taking them to the room, they started becoming violent. But as soon as they came to know that they were being taken to the room, they made themselves calm and started laughing. One of the researchers, on seeing, sensed danger and shot the commanding officer. Later, he went to the chamber and asked one of the inmates inside it why were they behaving like this. And the inmates replied. He replied that he was the evil that resided in every human mind. I am the one by whom you feel scared during the night. I am the one whom you never let me out. Hearing this, the researchers shot the 2 of them and himself too. After this terrible and horrific experiment, this experiment was never carried out again. I don't know whether the fact is real or not, but please comment what do you all think regarding this.
So this is all for today. So please like, share, subscribe for more videos.